A very good afternoon, Team Zimbabwe, and welcome to African Beyond Television Network. And this afternoon, we are taking a look on a very sensitive story. And we need to compliment our brother Tonio. He has given a very, very wonderful analysis because he was there in Bulawayo. He attended the Bulawayo conference, ZANU-PF conference, which means we can be guided accordingly by his submissions, by his view of what really transpired, what was really happening right there. So, it's very critical for us as the people to talk about these issues because they give us direction in terms of where we are going. So, let me bring this. It's a very long issue, but it speaks about the ZANU-PF implosion, and it's about the takeover of General Chiwenga. That is our main focus. That is what we need to understand right here. So he observed from a close range. He was there in Bulawayo and attended this conference. So he says the 2030 slogan hearing was never a mere moment of madness or excitement. Owen Mudangube, some Maswingo hardliners et al. Were loudly running with it after, even after Mnangagwa continued saying that is a constitutionalist. So it didn't end with Mnangagwa announcing anything. It continued post Mnangagwa's announcement. It continued post Patrick Chinamasa's announcement again. That is the reason why we ended up having a motion being moved to adopt the resolutions of this conference. So when we are looking at this thing, you can actually understand that this was something which was done directly to spite VP Chiwenga. So he says all provinces agreed that Mnangagwa must continue running both the ZANU-PF and government. And which means that is the reason why we said VP Chiwenga had nobody on his side. We talked about that VP Chiwenga had no one on his side, and no one even attempted to come to his rescue. So all the provinces, they were excited about that decision. And of course, the reason for the madness is a matter of self-preservation. They want to preserve themselves. They want to cushion themselves against retirement, against new party leaders, against possible arrests and the trials. And they do not even to lose the properties which they've gotten or acquired illegally, especially through corruption. So this is what is happening, and this is a stage which has been set, which means if you look at the foundation of Tonio, which he has given onto this story, it's a very, very valid foundation right there. Then if you look at how the president himself has reshuffled this security several times, it's also another indication of where we are going. There is no trust. Things are not looking good at all, within and without. So if you look at Emmerson Mnangagwa, he's not a man you can simply deal with easily. He's not somebody you can deal with so easily. He's a man who has created so many avenues to protect himself. He's a man who is working with very, very, very close people who are not likely going to sell him out because of, number one, their past, number two, their involvement in dirty activities, and possibly, number three, their involvement in corruption. So, he says you would be simplistic to think that ED was against all this charade, only to stop it on the 11th hour. We talked about this issue and said, when we saw Emmerson Mnangagwa coming out and saying, I'm a constitutionalist, Patrick Chinamasa saying he's a constitutionalist, it's not about aborting. Because if it was about aborting, these resolutions could have been opposed. The reasons why they didn't oppose the resolutions is because he is the mastermind of this one, which means the chanting of 2030 Anengwachipo continuously up to the end, it was organized. Look at the songs which were played for Chiwenga when he rose, the song which was played by Emmerson Mnangagwa when he rose. pamwe Mnangagwa rasvika gamba, Chiwenga paita mutengesi somewhere. You can actually relate those songs and understand kuti chimwe nechimwe chine madesignirwo achanga chakaitwa. So when you continue to have this slogan, then there is nothing else you could do to exonerate President Emmerson Mnangagwa. So at one rally, Tonio right here is figuring out critical issues right here. At one rally, Emmerson Mnangagwa brought out ministers and they made slogans. We talked about that issue. When they were doing slogans, aikati ndinoda kumbovatesta kuti vanogona here slogan. What was the slogan? 2030 anenge vachipo. That was the slogan. So pakuvatesta kuti vanogona here slogan, they had to make it 2030 vanenge vachipo. Then VP Chiwenga eventually came to do the slogan and skipped that 2030 nonsense. And the major question is, why is it that he was not questioned kuti se usina kuita slogan chaizvo chaizvo? So I like this observation. Let me highlight this observation. ED did not refuse the third term. He simply packed the idea only after proving that he can do it if he wants to. Which means this conference was about showing each other the capabilities. If you look at the previous events, kune dzimba dzanga dzatsva dzevanhu vakasiyana siyana, kune ma-business premises akanga atsva evanhu vakasiyana siyana, all ZANU-PF members. If you look at that, you would understand that both factions are creating stories and others are accusing others for doing A, B, C, D. But the major issue was about showing each other strengths and extents where they could reach. Look at the person, the same person who is saying that his house was burnt, his business premises was burnt, is the same person who moved the motion to adopt the resolutions at the conference. So if you look at it in such a way, you will find that this was a very, very dangerous situation and something which is very, very important to note. However, what is of much importance is to note that VP Chiwenga is preparing himself to take over the nation from Emmerson Mnangagwa, and legally he is supposed to take over in 2028, going to the 2020 elections. He must start. The major question is he going to win at the Congress? So if we go to 2027 with the same situation which we saw, there is no way Chiwenga is going to win unless he is declared by the military itself as the next candidate without the ZANU-PF conference Congress electing anybody. So here is the most important point. The ZANU-PF conference, which we saw, was a coup against Chiwenga. And according to this statement, to him, it's equivalent to treason. So what is happening is that Chiwenga is now dealing with the people he know very well. He's now dealing with real people. These are the people he's now dealing with. So what is of importance is to know that this person, Tonio, covered this conference on close range. And we need to take a look onto the body language. When everything was happening, VP Chiwenga looked not surprised by what was happening. He never responded to the 2030 Anenga Chipo. He never chanted the slogan, but he was never shaken, never moved by whatever which was happening, which means he remained focused and committed to what was happening at the conference. Despite some comrades believed to be on his side, being chucked out or being chased away from the conference, he continued as if everything was normal. So if we go back to history, that was the same character and behavior of Emmerson Mnangagwa during the Grace Mugabe and the G40 debacles. And he maintained his face sometimes clapping hands, where you might see that Grace Mugabe apinda murume uyu zviri direct iye ombera maoko. So you know, it was very, very strange, very difficult to understand what was happening. And this is the same scenario, this is the same situation. So at this point in time, I don't see these people backing down, because yava do or die. Stage yavasvika right now, yava do or die. And Chiwenga knows who is running with him and those who are not running with him. However, there are people seated on the fence or by the fence. Those are the people in trouble at this